A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant political development, Labour MPs have seized upon the government's recent U-turn regarding winter fuel payments to renew their calls for the reversal of planned cuts to various benefits. The announcement that pensioners in England and Wales earning £35,000 or less will be eligible for up to £300 to assist with energy bills this winter has been met with broad approval among backbenchers. They expressed gratitude to the government for finally responding to their concerns, emphasizing that while means testing is a fair approach, the previous threshold established last year was set too low. However, many Labour MPs are now urging ministers to reconsider cuts to disability payments and to eliminate the controversial two-child benefit cap. Under the proposed changes to the benefits system, it would become increasingly difficult for individuals with less severe conditions to claim personal independence payments (PIPs). In contrast, the government is promising enhanced support to facilitate entry into the workforce. The two-child benefit cap, which restricts most families from receiving means-tested benefits for any third or additional children born after April 2017, has faced criticism for pushing families into poverty. Ministers are currently contemplating lifting the cap, with a decision expected this autumn alongside a child poverty strategy. The pressure from Labour backbenchers regarding both the winter fuel payments and the planned benefit cuts has intensified following the party's disappointing performance in the local elections last May. Previously, the winter fuel payment was available to all pensioners, but a decision made last year limited eligibility to those receiving pension credit or another means-tested benefit. This cut was projected to save £1.7 billion, justified by the government as a necessity due to the public finances state. However, this decision excluded over 10 million pensioners from receiving the payment in 2024, drawing criticism from charities, unions, opposition parties, and numerous Labour MPs. In light of growing pressure, Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer announced a reversal last month, detailing the new eligibility criteria for the winter fuel payment on Monday. The Chancellor indicated that further details on funding the £1.25 billion policy would be revealed in the upcoming autumn budget. Labour MP Imran Hussain, representing Bradford East, was among those calling for the government to scrap the planned cuts to disability support in light of the recent announcement. He stated, "It is clear the government has listened, so I asked them to listen again to the growing calls in this chamber and scrap their planned, devastating cuts to disability support." Fellow Labour MPs Nadia Whitt-Ohm and Richard Bergen echoed this sentiment, welcoming the winter fuel U-turn while urging the government to heed backbench concerns regarding benefit cuts. In response, Torsten Bell, serving as both a Treasury and Pensions Minister, emphasized the need for a more effective system that supports those who can work. He remarked that the current situation, where 1,000 individuals are being added to PIPs daily, is untenable. Rachel Maskell, a prominent advocate for restoring winter fuel payments, praised the government's policy shift as long overdue. She described the £35,000 income threshold for the payment as a sensible measure, but called for an increase in the payment amount due to rising energy prices over the past year. Maskell also reiterated the need to reconsider the planned benefit cuts, stating, "You can't rob disabled people in order to pay older people. That doesn't make sense." Additionally, she joined other MPs in calling for the abolition of the two-child benefit cap. In the Commons, Rebecca Long-Bailey, Labour MP for Salford, sought assurances from ministers regarding efforts to lift the two-child cap on universal credit as soon as possible to alleviate child poverty. Bell responded by affirming that all levers to reduce child poverty are on the table, acknowledging the importance of addressing this issue as a core government priority. The Conservatives have demanded an apology from the government to pensioners who missed out on winter fuel payments last year. Shadow Work and Pensions Secretary Helen Whately characterized the U-turn as the most humiliating climb down a government has ever faced in its first year in office, arguing that the rushed reversal raises more questions than it answers and could potentially lead to tax increases. Liberal Democrat leader Sir Ed Davey remarked that the Chancellor finally listened to the Liberal Democrats and campaigners, acknowledging the disastrous impact of the previous policy. He stated, "Countless pensioners were forced to choose between heating and eating while the government ignored those truly suffering." Voters in Labour's traditional stronghold are feeling a shift as calls for change grow louder. David Smith MP highlighted that some farms are making as little as 1 penny profit on certain sales to retailers, sparking debates about economic security. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister insists that focusing on the economy is more crucial than constitutional matters. A defense review scheduled for Monday is anticipated to recommend that the armed forces transition to warfighting readiness. As the government navigates these pressing issues, the political landscape remains charged with anticipation and demands for accountability. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.